Hey, how's it going? This is the Aborted Soul, Matt, and I want to address an issue that's been bothering me for some time. I've had a few talks about it, and I think I'd like to hear what you have to say. So, the issue that I'm having trouble stumbling over is where people restrict the government. They say, oh, the government isn't allowed to, enact laws dealing with healthcare, or they shouldn't be able to, or the government shouldn't be able to tell you how you spend your dollar. They shouldn't reach into your pocket, yank your money out, and say, we're giving it to the poor. They shouldn't reach in, grab your money, and give it to a corporation. They shouldn't reach in, but I mean, building roads. People said that could be privatized. Buildings, I mean, okay, at what point there's this restriction on government saying it can't mess with markets, it can't do anything? What happens when a corporation gains so much monopoly and so much control and gains the mechanisms to control more than a government could, and it's got none of it doesn't have to review to anyone but whatever's making it money, and doing that you can do it underhanded as hell. I mean, a lot of people know businesses that are still around that are fucking underhanded. I mean, a lot of them are. The Better Business Bureau is constantly flooded with complaints about really large corporations. You know what? Those complaints don't lead to piss shit, because those corporations are getting filthy rich. I mean, that's the bottom line. It's the dollar. More money, more money, more money. Like with an HMO. An HMO is someone managing your health care. And this isn't even including the people that don't fucking have health care. They're going to try and fuck you out of every dollar they can get, because every dollar they don't give you, they get to keep. Prime dollar. And then they try to fuck the expensive but rare cases sometimes, so that they can get away. Or it's not about when you're getting out of the hospital if you need to, and whether you have a place to go, whether you're safe, you're well. It's how, can you survive being torn out of the hospital, after they take a breathing tube out of your throat? Or, I mean, is it possible that you could sit at home and, they could occasionally maybe rush you into the emergency room if you start leaking or you explode or something. And that's really fucking distressing. And that's private. That the government doesn't actually, I don't see the government doing that. That's just corporations. And people say if you privatize it. But at the same time, the same people that are going to fuck it up in the government are going to, touch with that magic fucking ass touch. They're going to do the same shit to private. Like, corporations, how are they different than the government? I mean, really, besides, I do believe in the streamlining of privatization and how that really does help markets in a lot of ways, and it really fucks things in a lot of ways, too. I mean, if you've ever talked to someone who lived through the Depression, I mean, our country almost went socialist, and it did in some ways. A lot of the programs that were going out, I don't even want to cite, oh my god, okay, I don't want to get into politics with unjustly and put opinions in there, but okay, Social Security, that's socialism right there. Giving people handouts. Now whether or not socialism is a bad thing, that's all arguable, debatable, whether it was the world's fault for an isolation of like what happened to Russia, exactly the causes, and even the people who are really, really educated disagree. But and those are all things to consider. But at what point, like which benchmark, can a company get powerful enough and dangerous enough that it shouldn't be allowed to continue? Because the only thing they're going to obey is the bottom dollar, and it doesn't matter how many lives they ruin, it doesn't matter how many people they have to hurt, how many employees they have to fuck, how much they have to rape the country they exist in, or the countries, how bad it is for what's around them. If they can get away with it, the companies that do it make more money, and the other ones either fall off the map or get marginalized. So, I mean, the government isn't the only evil here. I mean, there's a lot of human evil. How do you keep track of it all? I mean, do you just create another bureaucracy? And I mean, does that just make it worse? Does that make it better? I mean, I'm a libertarian when it comes to a lot of my views. I don't vote with a party. I vote based on who the person is and whether I think that my vote's going to matter, yada, yada, yada. But when it comes to corporations, at what point can a mega corporation just totally fuck your life and like systematically ruin, especially the big conglomerates that control media, the ones that control oil? I mean, these things are big things in our lives, and they have power like a government does. They are governing us one way or another. They're not doing it with bills. I mean, they're doing it with bills, with dollar bills, with yen bills, with yuan bills, with fucking, well, not Deutschmark, the euro. They're doing it with pounds. I mean, with decimal places, zeros and ones. I mean, these people are governing us. A lot of our choices are predetermined. And I think, don't get me wrong, if it was socialist, I think we'd have a lot less choices. It'd be a lot more control, but somebody has to control it. Private hands, at which point does someone get so much money that they can do so much damage, and they don't have to be accountable to anybody, because it's their money. No one should tell them what they have with their money. What if they're born into, or they even earn, like really fucking shiesty, under the table type of fucking shit, earn so much money that the amount of damage they can do outweighs anyone's ability to fix it? Like, is there any point there where someone, like, people are sitting there starving? I'm not talking about people that deliberately wander off, and it's, you know, but some people just suck at living. I mean, do we just let them die and let someone who probably also sucks at living just sit there and exist in this giant, like, billions and billions of dollars in wealth? Like, some of the shit I've seen with wealth is, like, disgusting. Like, the vacations that one of the, like, bigwigs in fucking Microsoft, he actually flies out of a field near where I used to live, where I went to college, and he flies out of there like once a month and dumps 750 grand or something like that. It's like once a month. It's a huge sum. I know because he ordered, I was actually at the airfield, he ordered his limo to go get, like, Pepsi because his kids didn't like Coke, and they had accidentally loaded his giant plane with, you know, a solid gold sink in it with Coke, God forbid. So they had a limo driver, like, race out and get, you know, God forbid, his kids don't have the right cola, you know. It's fucking, and just this gross waste of all this money. At what point, I'm like, is this an appropriation just whoever happens to get it? And what if someone can wrestle it from them? Like, what if someone can wrest that from them within the boundaries of the law? And how much should the law be able to say what you can grab and what you can't? Like, obviously, I think a lot of people agree that you shouldn't be able to kick someone's door in, you know, whack them in the head with a machete, take all their stuff. That shouldn't be legal. I mean, a lot of people really would agree to that. I would agree to that. I mean, as part of the social contract, that doesn't make sense. But when you can do it with numbers, and when you can do it being fucking tricky and shiesty with lawyers and shit, at what point is it, like, who should step in? And if no one steps in, are we fucked? I mean, are these going to be the people that are going to be making the decisions? They're going to be the ones that can set lobbies. These are going to be the ones that can influence education. These are the people that can influence court decisions. Like, whether or not someone says, oh yeah, I'm doing it for the voters, everyone, I mean, even politicians, they do it for the dollar. I'm sure they've got their own ideals. They've got I would say the machines that generate these people and promote these people, there's got to be secrets. There's got to be people fucking pulling the strings, at least to some extent. Even just like, you know, calls or talks over a glass of really good brandy where, oh, you know, this bill or this has to do with this bridge or this interstate, you know, being set on with this union or this, you know, no bids government contract, or, I mean, you know, this happens in the halls of government, and it happens pretty much everywhere. So, I mean, what do you do? I mean, do you just let it go on? I mean, making it illegal, that doesn't work. I mean, most of it is illegal anyways, but it happens. People, like with Enron, people just run off with everyone's money. At what point, like, is it going to be that all these corporations are going to be owned pretty much by a rare few? I mean, that's kind of how it is. How is that any bit fair in our society? Like, that all these people at the top have all of the money while everyone else is scrambling around for pennies, and they're just laughing at them dropping pennies once in a while. I don't know. I don't know, give me some thoughts. What are your opinions? I don't have all the answers. I'm looking for the answers. You know, if you can speak eloquently or at least get your point across, just let me know. Drop a comment, post a video. If you don't like videos, you know, 500 word limit, but there's really no comment limit as long as you're willing to be, you know, you can persevere through it. I read it all. You know, every time I get a notification, I go through and read it. I can't always respond to it. Some of them are just, you know, either over my head or just something that I wouldn't concern myself with. But I really want to know if anybody has, you know, more education than me, or even education enough to make a guess at political sciences, somebody who has a good idea. I don't know, because this has been bothering me. I'm glad to get it off my chest. This is the Aborted Soul. I'm going to see you later. Peace out, and fuck off.